Thank you. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna have to ask you to excuse this rash I have on my fingers. It's an allergic reaction. I get it to fuel and degreasers and other things. But basically, good news and bad news. Good news is I got the the piston out and cylinder out of the XR250. Basically, when I started the whole motor tear down because the thing had no compression. The reason it had no compression was I dropped it in a puddle of water. It was a big puddle, and it's a long story. But I was scared that I bent the conrod, so anyways, it needed the tear down. So all that's happened here is, as you can see, the piston's fine, but you'll notice there's no sort of rings poking out like normal. It's because all the rings, I've seen this in quite a few XRs actually, the rings have, focus, there it goes. The rings have squashed into the piston. So lost all their spring ability. But the good news is I think I can get these out. But yeah, that's the reason it had no compression. I've checked the conrod and there's no play up and down. And it's not bent in any way. It looks perfect, which makes me really happy. But it does look like I'm up for probably a new bore. This one's okay, but at the top, you'll notice here, it's sort of splitting away from the actual cylinder. See here, it sort of isn't, but if I move it with my nail, it does it. Yeah, it sort of pushes away. I know, I'll get it inspected by someone who knows a little bit more than me. But I'm sorry I didn't get this on film. I'm having a few difficulties with formatting. Oh, focus. The Contour Roam 3 that I'm using, the SD card sort of fucked up on me because basically the camera ran out of battery, and then I tried filming while it was on charge and it wouldn't do that, and a few other things. But I'm sorry I couldn't get it on film. But a simple way, if your cylinder is stuck in your crank, so this will be in your crank like this. You want to put your head back on. Hopefully you'll be able to get your head off, but just put the head back on without the valves, or with the valves if you really want. But have the cam chain up. But before you put the head on, get a rag or something sort of soft but thick, I guess. But I got a rag and I folded it until it was about this thick. And I put it on top of the piston, and basically, because the head was on there, the head's bolted down onto the piston, not bolted down to the crank. Make sure that these bolts are out, obviously. Take out the bolts that are holding the cylinder into the crank. And all you're going to do is get a wrench on your flywheel and just sort of have it so that it comes up where it is. Take it back and sort of almost like a hammer, hammering, I forget the word. But basically you're going to hit it sort of up and lean on it a bit until eventually the cylinder will free up. And it wasn't too hard after that. I just gave it a few beats with the rubber mallet and it came right off. One thing you don't want to do, which I did, I tried everything, is get a piece of wood or something else and try and hit the bottom of the cylinder, because all you do is break the fins. Oh, focus, like that there. And another thing you don't want to do is try and pry with a screwdriver at the bottom, because you'll put big indents in there and you basically just fuck it. But yeah, that's the best method I can think of. It worked pretty well. It didn't harm anything. You also want to make sure that when you have the bolts going through the head into the cylinder, make sure that they're on relatively tight so that you don't have any sort of free play or unevenness, I guess. But I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Get out, you woolly bastard! Go away! You all smell. Ah, fuck. Go away!